WordNerds, happy Sunday and welcome back to our weekly live chat. This week we are doing one of our monthly write-ins and are super excited to be all kinds of productive and writerly with you guys. Erin is back, which is very exciting. She showed up like 2 seconds ago, so we're still getting over the initial wave. I guess to kick things off, we'll do our usual, what are you guys going to be working on for tonight's write-in? And Erin, we're just going to put you on the spot and jump in with you.
Cool. Same as usual. I'm just working on the very last little bits of editing my witch story and then hopefully sending to my agent this month. So, yay! Finishing it up.
And Emma?
Yeah, I'm just working on revisions. So I'm really close to the end of this draft, so it's exciting.
And Megan?
I have been working on plotting a lot for this rewrite that I've been trying to mentally gear myself up to do for like the creepy body part magic book. I didn't say organ this time because every time I say it, Emma thinks it's the organ. So it's going to be really, really different, but I am excited about it. So I will probably start like the rewrite today because I want to have it done before I go into labor. So time is running out.
I am also super excited for that book. It's going to be a plotting, outlining kind of night for me too. Probably jumping between a couple different projects because that's the only way I can make myself outline things. So yay. So we've got a bunch of prompts and whatnot.
Yeah.
Do our usual 3 20-minute ones, or
Let's do it.
Works.
If you've never,
there's so many prompts.
I know. If you've never joined us before for a write-in, welcome. We are really excited to have you here. The way it works is we do word sprints, which is where we set an amount of time on our channel. We usually do 20 minutes. And we all write like the wind, so it'll just be the sound of our keyboards tapping for that period of time. And then at the end of the 20 minutes, we all check in, we share our word counts with each other. You can share your word count in the discussion section. You are also free to ask any writing or bookish related questions in the discussion section, and we try to answer them in between sprints. Am I forgetting anything? I don't think I am.
That's pretty much the rundown.
Deal. Hi to everyone in the discussion. There's a lot of people saying hi. Hi.
Oh.
Let us know what you're working on. I can't believe this month is so far over already.
This year.
I know.
How was Comic-Con, Erin?
It was really good. Way more people showed up than I thought would. It's just like a little mini Comic-Con, but I didn't realize it was like for all of Vancouver Island because it was in Sydney. So I was like, oh, it's such a tiny little town. But like a lot of people came. And a lot of people came to my panel, and it was very intimidating.
Awesome. What was your panel on?
YA and middle grade and geek culture.
Nice.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
exciting.
That's so cool.
Yeah. It was really fun. Pretty much, yeah. So I got to talk about like geeking out over writing Star Wars fan fiction when I was young.
Yes.
And Harry Potter fan fiction, of course.
Of course, of course.
Not recently. I mean,
I definitely don't think about writing Harry Potter fan fiction regularly.
totally wasn't like a couple weeks ago. I was thinking about a Slytherin fan fiction.
Dark Deluxeville wants to know if we're doing Camp Nano. I definitely am now for
for
reasons
sure
that we'll
am.
announce.
Yes. I'm very excited for Camp Nano this year.
It's gonna be a good one.
It's going to be really good. Oh, I was thinking about today how I checked out the website for the words. If you haven't heard of that, you should check it out. you might find it very interesting as well. But it's basically like this site that makes writing into like a computer game. So you like are going on quests and fighting monsters by writing a certain number of words in a certain amount of time. And I've been wanting to play it all week, but I haven't been able to because of work and whatever. And so I'm definitely playing it tonight for the first time. I'm so excited.
Yes. I'm a little obsessed with them right now. I'm also kind of helping to run their Twitter and Facebook, so you should follow them there.
What? That's cool.
We'll get you up to speed in post-chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We've got lots of people sharing what they're working on in the discussion section, lots of amazing projects going on. And I guess we'll just set the time for our first sprint for the 45.
Excellent, excellent.
And our first prompt is...
So Desiree set up the prompts for tonight, and they're all like magical creature themed, which I'm super excited about. So I guess we'll start off with dragons. And so the prompt is something fearsome stands between your protagonist and something they desire.
Ooh, I like it.
And in case you didn't hear that, I just put it in the discussion section. I'll also repost it in 2 minutes when the sprint starts.
Everything going on in the chat has me like super excited for Camp Nano. I haven't like been that invested in a camp in a while, so maybe this is when I recommit myself.
Yeah, I like have to because I have to finish this book next month. So
I feel like my life is Camp Nano. It's like always Camp Nano.
I've been so terrible about writing lately that it's just like, let me look at this book about writing and think about writing and not get any words down because that's hard and stressful.
I have my like writing calendar where I put like stars for like words written and scenes revised. And I was like looking through it the other day and I was like, basically February is the only like truly good month I've had all year.
Yeah.
And it was the shortest month.
But July is going to be amazing.
Great.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Oh, look, we are halfway through the year.
Look at that.
I don't want to talk about it.
It's time. 20 minutes. Remind me, I have a book I wanted to recommend at the end of the sprint because I've been reading it and it's been really good for the getting stuff done. So don't let me forget. But we will check back in 20 minutes because right now it is time to write like the wind on whatever it is you're working on, and good luck. Oh, and the sprint goes until 5 after. time.
Sorry about the barking.
It like actually scared me for a second. I like
Me too.
it was so quiet.
Matt got home. It was very exciting.
Like half my time was spent making tea, so
So
very
time well
important.
spent.
Good investment.
How did it go for everyone? Tea, obviously, was a win.
I got some brainstorming done and a little bit of organizing for the new week and what I want to be writing.
Nice. I got 545.
Nice.
Not bad. It's all gonna be trashed, I'm pretty sure. It feels a little bit like I don't know where to start this story.
Hate that feeling. And I made a smashing cup of tea.
Yes.
And not in the microwave. I
Of
might
course
add.
not.
Although I've been a tea heathen and left my tea bag in. So low class move here. Low class.
Wow.
Somebody on the video commented, or on the Facebook that I posted on, and was like, where's the teapot? And I was like, oh.
Oh.
I don't know, the tea snob here.
I have 2 teapots, but I don't use them.
I have a crap load of teapots, and I use them sometimes when I remember to, but normally I'm in a rush to get upstairs and do all the writing I can, so I don't bother to like properly.
I drink a lot of like dessert teas that have like extra stuff in them, so the teapot gets not clean and they aren't easy to like get inside of and actually like scrub down.
What dessert
like
teas?
there's a s'more one I have, so it's got tiny bits of chocolate and little marshmallows in it, which ends up just being the sugar in the tea. But that's the kind of stuff that like isn't great over time if it's just like building up inside your teapot. So
Yeah, that's not what I think of as tea, but you know.
My grandma was really, really into Alice in Wonderland, and so I have several Alice in Wonderland teapots, but honestly, I have no clue what you would even like use a teapot for. Like the tea goes in it, but do you like boil the water? I don't know, but I have them.
yeah, I have that Alice in Wonderland one, but I've literally never used it.
Clearly, we need a part 2 of the tea video to teach Megan how to use a teapot.
Yeah, I don't know how to use a legit teapot either.
Sweet Jesus, really?
Do you boil the water first, or does it boil in the teapot?
I legitimately just thought that you used it like an electric kettle. I thought you just put water in it and boiled it on the stove and poured it over your tea bag.
I will destroy your teapot if you do that. Do not do that. Oh my God. We need another video. This will not stay. This is not okay.
I always see teapots sitting on people's stoves, so I thought you just put water in it. And
you might be seeing kettles sitting on
they're
people's
kettles that are like shaped the same as teapots.
They're different things.
Yes, they are.
They were the same thing.
I have a kettle that whistles when the water is boiling.
That's a kettle. Yes. I have a whistling. I have a kettle that whistles, and then yes, teapots are very different things.
I have no idea.
I grew up drinking out of teapots, complete with like the tea cozy and everything. And then I used to wear it on my head as a child. We were very British.
And who are you to judge us, huh?
Because I grew up with teapots.
No, she put tea cozies on your head.
Well, in my defense, I was like 8, but you know.
Right.
I would still wear a tea cozy if it was cute enough, whatever.
It works for Dobby. So.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Good enough for Dobby, it's good enough for us.
Exactly.
But I mean, I had no tea exposure until I was 25 years old, so I'm pretty behind the curve.
Fair.
I'm figuring it out.
You're doing so good.
Thank you.
You're behind.
That's all I want.
You're behind on your tea education.
Oh, we've got people sharing their word counts in the discussion section. You guys are doing so great. If you ask a question and I miss it, please feel free to re-ask it. I am not ignoring it. There's just a lot of commenting going on, and sometimes things get missed. So we had a question, I think, about the prompts and like how that works, which is the thing I forgot. We have prompts, but they're just for your personal use. You can use them if you want to, or you cannot. Just it's there to inspire you if you are finding yourself in need of some inspiration. And while this topic, like for this week, is writing themed, we do different topics every week. Once a month, we do these write-ins where we all get together and just write on our own time. And sometimes people will share like lines that they particularly like in the discussion section, but you by no means have to. That is totally up to you. I have a question, actually. Have any of you guys had to rewrite? And did you read the original chapters before starting the rewrite? Or did you, like, make yourself not?
I made myself not.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean, I haven't rewritten an entire book, but I've rewritten, like, certain chapters, and I don't read the chapter first.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've seen that as advice a lot. It's like you'll remember the parts that you loved and forget the parts that are the reason you're rewriting this.
Yeah. I found myself like...
I was asking if you're rewriting a whole book.
Yeah, it's the whole book. Like, I have a first draft and realized that I wrote the wrong first draft. And that the world was great and the character was okay, but everything else has to start over. And so I keep wanting to like go back and look at the first chapters because I really liked the first chapters.
I did
first
too.
Draft. But it's third person now and there's extra people.
What I would do if I were you is just start from the beginning and rewrite the entire thing and then go back and look at the first chapter to see if you like it better than what you've written.
That's smart. I just hate working.
That's a lot of work.
That's the real problem.
Yeah. That is a lot of work.
Yeah. Once I get into it, I think it'll be easier. Like because it'll be super different at that point. But the opening chapters, it's like, haven't I written these several times already? Because, oh my gosh, I realized while I was at the coffee shop last week, like officially getting started on this rewrite, I have trashed 90,000 words. I've started this book twice and then wrote a first draft. And now going in again.
Wow.
Rant over. It's a lot of words. We had a question about how the summer is going for everyone. How's everyone's summer going?
Hot. Really hot.
Yeah. Moderately hot. We're just gonna...
Yeah, very hot.
Yeah. Lots of packing here. I'm ready to move again.
I hate moving.
Yeah.
Me too.
I did like a Harry Potter event with like 4th through 6th graders the other day at work, so that was cool.
Wow, that's amazing.
And they were awesome. And they were like nerds. It was like a gifted, like a summer gifted program thing. So they like all liked Harry Potter. And I had to like sort them at the beginning so they'd be in groups. And so I was doing it like randomly, but then like half the kids, like as I walked up to put the hat over them, they'd be like, Hufflepuff, 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 or like whatever their house was. And so I was like, fine, I'll give it to them. And so then they started like realizing, and then like there were like some kids, like as I'd walk up, they'd be like, I really hope Ravenclaw, because that's what I got on Pottermore. And then they started like realizing that I was giving them like what they were asking for, so more of them started doing it. And then I like was running out of certain houses, and I was like, I can't give you guys what you want anymore. Like we have to have even numbers.
This is not the real sorting hat.
Yes, it was really cute. And then
That's
like
so cute.
we were doing like a Quidditch practice game, and like the Slytherin group got there, and we were like explaining to them, we were like, we're just practicing, not actually playing Quidditch because there's too many muggles around. And one of the like people I had helping me, she was like, we were like near a bus stop that's on campus, and so she was like, you see that guy over there, and like pointed to one of the bus drivers and was like, he's a muggle, because they were like, what's a muggle or whatever, like one of the kids who didn't know Harry Potter. She's like, that's a muggle. And then like one of the Slytherin kids, because they all had wands, he turns and he's like, Avada Kedavra. And I was like,
Oh my god.
and then like a few minutes later, he's like, you know what the best thing about Slytherin is? And I was like, what? And he was like, we get to use unforgivable curses.
Yes.
Oh, tiny Voldemort.
I love it so much.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
I was like, you are representing Slytherin so well. All the stereotypes.
Oh man. So should we do the next sprint at the 20 then?
That sounds good.
We've got another question. How many works in progress do you limit yourselves to at one time?
2. I wish I didn't have 2 though. I want 1.
Yeah, I prefer 1. I'll do 2 if I'm like at different stages. Like I won't be drafting 2 things at once, but I'm like revising one thing and sort of like outlining another right now. So I can't even draft it. I like tried starting drafting, and because the one I'm revising is in first person present and the new one is third person past, I can't be working on both at the same time. I get confused. And everything sounds wrong.
Yeah, I always end up revising too, which is annoying because I draft way too many.
Yeah, I tend to keep it to like drafting 1, revising 1. I like having 2 things because then if I get tired of one, I can work on the other and still feel like I'm getting stuff done. This has been a weird year though. I've been working on a lot of drafting at once, and I don't know that it's particularly working for me, but I am getting words down. So it's like, maybe it'll work in the future. Who knows?
No.
I can't stop staring at Erin's hair. It's so bright. It looks so cool.
Ooh.
Thank you.
It's like Karoo in
Right?
Yes.
All I've ever wanted.
Why don't you do it then?
I wouldn't maintain it.
Oh,
It would just become a faded mess on my head.
it does take a lot of work. My shower will be blue again very soon, very shortly.
I
It's
do
actually- No, as I said, it's actually lasting a lot longer than I thought it would. This has been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Kind of astonishing.
With the purple, it like sucked that it faded so fast, but it also was nice because it would like fade all the way, and so it didn't look like gross. You know, like it would just turn to blonde, and I was like, okay, this works. So it like, because I know like teal and green will just like stay in your hair and just like look really nasty if you don't take care of it.
I don't do green because it looks like you're molding eventually.
Yeah, you have to like constantly get it redone.
Yeah.
And I'm too lazy and
Same.
don't have enough money to do it all the time.
Same on both ends.
Yeah.
I just get them to do it the first time and then I re-dye it myself afterwards because I don't trust myself with bleach.
No, definitely not.
You guys have such like pretty dark hair that it looks nice when it's starting to grow out. Mine is so light that whenever I did dye my hair, it was just like super light chunk right here. But y'all's like blends nicely into the color.
All right. Finding our next prompt. So this next sprint is going to be centaur themed. Find two unlikely things that come together to make a perfect match.
Love it.
Ooh.
Lots of ideas there.
And again, you don't have to use the prompt, but it's there if you need the inspiration. I'm putting it in the discussion section right now, so it is there for you. It is also time to begin the sprint, so we're going to jump right in with that. 20-minute sprint. Check-in is at the 40. Good luck.
Thank you.
time. So you're going quick tonight.
Yeah.
I got 579 this time, so like 30 more words than last time.
Nice.
Go for the rest of you.
I wrote things down.
I made tea this time.
Nice. Yeah, that was my book. I erased some words and put some more words. So
Classic revisions.
yeah.
I wrote one sentence like 5 times. Like I would write it, erase it, write it, erase it. I was like, no, none of this sounds right.
Yep. Welcome to writing.
I've been reading so much like pretty fantasy this week.
Oh, gosh.
Like this month even, like reading all the darker shade of magic or the Shades of London trilogy and
Shade of Magic trilogy.
yeah, I read.
I get it confused all the time because the Shades of London series is Maureen Johnson's series.
Yes.
I do
Shades
that
of
sometimes.
Magic. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've done that so many times.
So, yeah.
So I read that one and I'm reading The Night Circus right now. And every sentence I write, it's like, this is hideous compared to all of those beautiful, beautiful books.
What's the point even?
Right? Why did I ever think I could write in the third person? So it's like, she looked at the corner where there was a clue. Wow.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I always feel like that. I have The Language of Thorns next to read on my list, and I just keep looking at it, and I'm like, I know as soon as I open the first page, I'll be like, all my writing is garbage. So,
Gotta get through revisions first.
yeah, I should probably finish those before I go on that particular journey. Stop yawning.
Wake up!
I'm gonna start and never stop.
Oh, we had a question. What are we all planning on working on for camp? I'm gonna be doing this. Exactly.
I'm going to be doing my other witch story. Lots of variety.
I'm hoping to like finish like the plot revisions that I'm working on right now by the end of this month, so that next month camp can be just about like character stuff, because there's a lot of stuff that needs to change. I'm not looking forward to.
Megan, did we ever cycle back to your book recommendation?
No, we didn't.
Oh, yeah.
I'm reading The Hero Is You by Kendra Levin right now. Where she basically she's a certified life coach / writer / worked as an editor at like Penguin / might still. Anyway, she breaks down the hero's journey, but applies it to like you as the writer writing your book are the hero. And it's really good so far.
That sounds amazing.
And has been totally like upping my confidence about like feeling like I can move forward and write things.
Wow, I want to read that.
Yeah.
Write it down.
And it's called The Hero Is You. Sharpen your focus, conquer your demons, and become the writer you were born to be.
I'm adding that to my WordNerds note card that always sits here. Things people recommend that are good.
I am adding that to my hand.
Yeah. And it's pretty short too. It's only like a couple hundred pages, and it's got a bunch of exercises for like determining your goals and like what you want to do in your writing career and how you can get to those points and stuff.
I
which is
when
really nice.
Gandalf shows up in my story.
Yeah, where's my Gandalf?
Where's my
So like the first chapter talks about the herald, and that's like the muse and how you can hunt down the herald and stuff. It's really good. I highly recommend. I haven't finished it yet, so don't quote me on the whole book. But the first half, it's really good.
It just goes really downhill in the second half.
I can't imagine the second half going
She
downhill.
just starts saying like really racist things.
It's like, oh no, what have I done? I will get a link to that. Someone asked for a link, so I will grab that and put it in the discussion as well.
There's two of me. What the heck is happening? My internet is being so weird. My evil twin. Ah. Oh, there we go.
Hero is you. Should we do our final sprint of the night in 4 minutes at the 50?
Sounds good. Yes.
All right, I just dropped that link. We've got a question from Mr. Eaton91. Does anyone ever have problems switching from first person to third or vice versa? I've been writing in first for years, and this work in progress is in third, and I keep accidentally shifting back to first.
Yes.
Yes.
That's pretty common.
I talked about this earlier in the chat.
Yeah.
I like normally write third, but like the project I'm revising right now, I wrote in first, and now I'm like stuck in that. And so when I try to work on something else in like third past, I just like get confused, and I'm like, how do words work? None of this makes sense. Like I've done this before. I've written whole books in third person past tense. Why can't I do this?
I noticed that, like, if I'm trying to write in third and things get really intense without even realizing it, I'll switch to first. Like, so my head is more like in what's happening, and then like the reverse will happen. Like, certain scenes feel like they should be one way or the other to me, which doesn't make sense on a practical level. But I do it all the time.
Yeah. I was just, you know, the dogs in the memes where they're like in space or sitting at a desk, and it's like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I always feel like that when I switch to third after writing in first for a while.
Yes.
Every single time, it's like, I don't even know how to write. I can't write pretty things like this. And it takes like 10,000 words to really feel like I have gotten back into third person.
I love those memes because I feel like it describes my mood so often.
Yes.
What are words?
We had a question about how long the live show will go for. This will be our last sprint of the night coming up. So if you've got any writing questions, get them in now, and we will answer them after this upcoming sprint that we're doing in 2 minutes. So the final sprint will go for 20 minutes. So we'll probably be wrapping it up in 20 to 30. And do we have a final prompt?
We do. The last prompt is mermaid themed. So your protagonist gains something beautiful but impractical.
I love this one so much.
I love these prompts. Amazing.
So we've got 1 minute before we're going to jump into that.
Oh, I muted myself too soon.
Get eager.
Too eager.
I battled 3 monsters on For the Words. So getting that XP.
I'm worried that if I try to run the chat and have For the Words up and have my document going and my Google Doc with my first draft, my computer will just like combust. See, like, no. It struggles to do like 2 things at once. So
Mine can barely keep this chat open by itself. So
Yeah,
and
I'm doing
not a laptop. So
I'm doing all my typing in For the Words right now, and then I'm just gonna copy and paste it later. But it is still online.
Stop it.
Sorry. I love when they all yell at each other when we on. Right now.
I like when we're just like sending yawns across the continent.
Yeah, no kidding.
And it is time to write. Again, this is our final word sprint of the night. So write your hearts out. You can do it. All of the happy things. And we will check back in at 10 after the hour.
And yes, Erin, you can mute yourself now.
Way ahead of you.
9.
That didn't go that well.
I got 522. So about the same as I've done the rest of the time.
I finished a major edit on my manuscript, so I am happy with that.
Yay!
A round of applause.
I reached a point where I get to just copy some stuff over, so that's exciting.
Nice.
Like, this scene is good, just put it in there.
If only all revisions were like that.
Yeah. Not a bad night, though. This is way more than I've written, like, all month, so.
This is the first time I've written all month. It's been rough.
I think it might be for me, too. It's only the 10th.
It's true.
It just feels like June has been real long.
It just feels like June 38th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did have a question. Where did it go? Do y'all have any advice on how to write good dialogue that isn't cheesy or pretentious?
Listen to
Read it out
real,
loud.
yeah, and listen to real people talk. Over here, like eavesdrop on people at Starbucks and stuff, like a creepy creep.
I always feel like I'm not great at writing dialogue, but I do know how to revise it. So, like, if you're drafting, don't worry about it. You can say exactly what you want them to say. And then in revisions, I always go back and try to figure out, like, what actually needs to be said here, because it's usually about half of what I've actually written. And also bearing in mind that, especially in books, people rarely say everything that they are thinking. That, I guess that's a general life thing too. People rarely say everything that they're thinking. So just like trying to go through and tweak every line of dialogue with that in mind.
Yeah, it's something definitely in like revisions that I notice is that my characters like say more than like they need to or would be near like realistic, so I end up cutting back a lot on dialogue. Or like they say something in like 3 sentences that they could have just said in 1.
Yeah. I would also definitely recommend reading a lot. That is a great way to get exposed to more like literary dialogue or whatever. Been reading a lot of V.E. Schwab, so obviously she's on my mind, but she's great at it. Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe is another book that has, it's almost all dialogue, and it's all great. Anything by Becky Albertalli has just A+ dialogue.
Yeah. I think also it helps to like remember that like people don't always talk like really eloquently and fluently, and like people stop and start and hesitate and can't figure out how to like get their words out. So sometimes your characters can do that too. You don't want it to be all the time because that would get annoying to read, but especially in like really emotional scenes, it's okay to have them struggle with their words.
Yeah. All right. It looks like you all did amazing sharing your word counts. Thank you so much for joining us. We have one final question that I just saw, so I guess we will end with that one. It's about endings. The question is, what needs to be part of your ending beyond the climax of the book?
Falling action. need to have at winding everything down, tying up all the loose ends.
Yeah, a few beats for the readers to like absorb the emotional impact of your climax, and for your characters to do the same as like the proxy for your readers. But if something big happened, to give your characters a chance to deal with that.
Yeah, I like in final scenes of books, I like when books really focus on like the character's arc in those final scenes, because a lot of times like the characters are going to have like emotional fallout from what's happened in the climax. So I like when a book has like a few scenes at the end to kind of like show how the characters respond to everything that's happened and really like tie up their character arc, because normally like
Oh no.
Oh, I thought it was me again.
I thought it was me too for a second.
I was like, oh, other people are still moving. Weird.
Well, we'll never know the great secrets for writing a good ending.
Crap. So this was a bad ending. It wasn't resolved. I hear singing.
My husband is singing to my dog in the background.
As you do.
That's what it does, yeah. Well, do we have any final thoughts drawing on what Emma was saying about endings?
Someone commented with "that's good advice," so I choose to believe that everyone else but us got the full. Like, they got to know what this brilliant ending advice was.
Perfect. Yeah, and it really depends, like, if your book has sequels, if you're going to be trying to pitch it as a standalone with series potential. So really, like, if you are planning on having more books later, you can get away with less falling action. So just kind of knowing what you want for the book and the series. We lost you, Emma.
Yeah, I'm back. You just like kicked me out and then like welcomed me back in.
All right. We're good?
I think so.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. This was a lot of fun. We will be back next week with a topic. And then our next write-in is only a couple of weeks away on July 1st as we kick off Camp NaNoWriMo. So there'll be a lot of exciting stuff then. And of course, in the meantime, don't forget to join us throughout the week for all of our usual videos. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we hope to see you there. Thank you again. We will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.